Hello everybody, my name is Nick Kremp. I'm the conservation agent in the city of Leominster, and as you may have heard, we are experiencing a partial eclipse from the total solar eclipse that's coming up in April. In Leominster, we'll be able to experience it as a partial solar eclipse. So solar eclipses are a phenomenon that occur pretty regularly, actually. Depending on where you are on the Earth, it can be a long time in between different solar eclipses. So basically we have the sun out in space, and then we have the Earth rotating around the sun, right? And when we have the Earth, we also have the moon that's rotating around the Earth. So occasionally, as the moon orbits around the Earth, sometimes it crosses directly in between the sun and the Earth, which leads to the moon casting its shadow onto the Earth. And that is what a solar eclipse is actually. It's you standing in the shadow of the moon as it crosses in front of the sun. You might have also heard of a lunar eclipse, and that is more or less the same phenomenon, but with the Earth and the moon switched positions. So instead of the moon casting its shadow on the Earth's surface, a lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth is casting its shadow on the moon's surface. Solar eclipses will only occur during a new moon because we need the moon right between the sun and the Earth, and lunar eclipses will only occur on a full moon because the Earth needs to be directly in between the sun and the moon. Unfortunately, unless you're in that path of totality, you cannot safely view the eclipse with your naked eyes because you should never look directly into the sun, and that is true during a solar eclipse as well. There's still ways to view that phenomenon and see that big bite being taken out of the sun. It's still a pretty cool thing to witness. One of the simplest ways to do that is using a pinhole projector. So pinhole projectors focus the light coming through a tiny little pinhole, very similarly to the way a camera lens or a lens in your glasses focuses an image. As the light has to pass through that tiny little hole, and then it's reflected or projected onto the surface on the inside of the box. And that actually makes a mirror image, whatever is in front of the pinhole projector. In this case, we're going to be looking at the sun and seeing the crescent of the sun as the moon covers it up more and more. You can make a pinhole projector out of pretty much anything. It's very easy to use any kind of box that you have lying around. I do find that it's a little better the larger the box that you have, and the image will be slightly larger, but the principle works the same no matter the size of the box. So I'll show you how to make a pinhole projector step by step with this tiny little Welch's box here. First of all, we're going to need to make the opening for our pinhole. So like we have right here, you're going to choose one side of the box that's going to be facing the sun, and that you're going to be taping your aluminum foil over. So use the top of this box here, and we'll just kind of cut a little square out of the top of it. Just because this box is a little torn up already, I'm just going to tape it back together a little bit. Okay, so we have our hole that the aluminum foil is going to go over. This is where our pinhole is going to be located. Get that ready. Going back to our ready-made pinhole projector here. So we've cut out the hole for the pinhole on this box here. So this hole is going to be serving the same function as this part of the box. And then we also need a place to view the projection because the light from the sun will be traveling through this pin and being projected on the inside of the box. So we need a little opening so that we can actually view it. Not too big because we still want it to be very dark here. We want most of the light coming into the box to be traveling through that pin so we get a really good image on the other side. So with that said, let's go ahead and cut our viewer, our viewing window into the box. Okay. And so you're going to be cutting that viewing window closer to the side of the box where the image will be projected. And again, that's going to be opposite wherever your pinhole is going to be. Okay, so we're going to tape our aluminum foil over here. Here's our viewing window. And then it also helps to tape some white paper at the bottom of it. If the inside of your box is a little darker, it's not a very light color, that white paper will help to make that image a little bit clearer. So you can take this piece of paper and we'll tape it to the inside. Okay, so we can slide that in there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Anywhere will do, just as long as it's on the right side and it's visible from the viewing window. So next step, let's go ahead and tape this over with the aluminum foil. And then we're gonna take, in this case, a toothpick, but any tiny little sharp thing to poke our pinhole will do just fine. So we'll tape that over, and we'll take one of our toothpicks. And you just want one small pinhole right in the center of that hole. And that is, again, where the light will be coming through. So we'll just carefully, it's a little bit big there, but still got a pinhole there. So we can take this pinhole projector outside. This is pretty much it. So this is the finished product. So let's take these outside and bring them out into the sun and test them out, see how they work.
All right, hey there everyone. So we moved outside. It's a beautiful sunny day, clear blue skies. So if you have your pinhole projectors ready, you can test them out, try and see the image of the sun even just on a normal day. And then you'll know you'll be ready for eclipse time. So a quick review here. We have our pinhole projector with the pinhole on this side. This is going to be the side that's facing the sun. And then on the side we have our little viewing window. The best way to line up your pinhole projector is going to be actually facing away from the sun. Take a look at your shadow on the ground, and then you should be able to see your own shadow and the shadow of your pinhole projector box, whatever you're using. And then you can take your pinhole projector and you're going to want to line up the shadow so that you're looking right flat on the edge, so the shadow is basically as small as it can be. And at that point you can take a look through the viewing window. When you have it lined up correctly, you should see a small circular pinpoint of light on the inside. And this is actually a focused image of the sun. It doesn't look like much on a normal day like this. It should just look like a small little circle. But on an eclipse day, during a partial eclipse, that small little circle should take the form of a crescent, like a crescent moon. If you've got a larger box or a longer box, I find that works a little bit better because the cone of light that's being projected through that pinhole has a little bit more distance to get a little bit bigger, and that projection image will be a little bit larger. And again, to hammer this home, you should never ever look directly at the sun with your naked eyes or without proper filters or filter material such as special eclipse glasses. So you should be able to find these pretty easily online. Eclipse glasses, they come with this special material that filters out about 99.99% of the light coming through. So that is the only time that you can look directly at the sun. If you're nervous about ordering those eclipse glasses online, you want to make sure that they are approved materials for viewing the sun. And one easy way to do that is somewhere on the glasses it should say ISO, and they are only going to have that ISO on them if they are approved and have the appropriate materials to view the sun with. That is probably the easiest way that you can view the partial eclipse as it happens in Leominster. So if they are properly certified eclipse glasses, you shouldn't see much of anything through them unless you're looking right at the sun. So we got our ISO certified glasses on, can't see anything, and looking at the sun, and I can see it perfectly. Big ball in the sky. Depending on the day, you might even be able to see some sunspots or little different markings on the sun. If you realize, oh my God, it's April 8th, I didn't make my pinhole projector, I don't have my glasses, you can even do the same thing with crossing your fingers like this. And the same principle applies with the pinhole projector. So any little hole that the light of the sun has to go through and come across as a shadow on the ground, you will be able to see those crescents of light in between your fingers on the ground. The same applies for dappled sunlight coming through trees on a sunny day. It's the same thing. All right, so that is how you can safely view the partial eclipse that's going to be passing through Leominster in April. So we'll have some eclipse viewing stations set up around town. We'll have some eclipse viewing glasses, some pinhole projectors. So please stop by at one of those stations on the afternoon of April 8th and take a look at this very unique and awesome celestial event. Hope to see you there.